Okay. That was, oh, unemployment. We're back. Guys, welcome back in. Start doing all the annoying good things. So we can try and have conversations one more time. That's the plan. Also, I meant to say, and I should have said it last time. I know now there's not as many people in here, but I saw that my mods were doing the job, and I appreciate you guys so much because I missed saying facts. There's Steve. I got a fax right earlier today, and I appreciate you guys so much. I truly do. Steve was fucking zen today, and I appreciate that about him. Sad liberal sitting with 0 likes and like 15 people. You're right. That's me. That's me. Now I've got 1 like. Look at me. I'm such a big creator. They should be so scared. But this is how I scam the system to stay on Medicaid, right? I stay just below. That's what they said I'm doing. Mm-hmm. And we can start having conversations when we get to 2,000 likes. I would love to do that. Olive, my work wife, hello. How's your day going? I love you. He's saving the planet. Trump is saving the planet is probably one of the most wild takes I've heard somebody say. Mm-hmm. Sure. Trying to work those numbers up. My Isn't David the one who like cussed me out yesterday? I don't remember. I think he said something terrible. Saving America from the illegals. What? Thank you so much for hitting that. I appreciate you so much. We are almost there, guys. You guys are rocking those likes. Thank you. What other little ones can we do? Oh, I like these one. Do that guy. Let's watch him crack up. David, how are you today?
Good.
What do you want to talk about today?
Probably AB. Probably.
Okay, what about it?
Hey, as long as states keep like banning it, that's good. Like all day. I mean,
I can't do it again. Like, oh, that was that guy. I remember now. When you like, oh, like do like the like thing that you like. I can't do it. Sure, PJ. Mm-hmm. A walking corpse. I would have voted for a dust bunny. I would have voted for a dust bunny that just sat there with googly eyes over Donald Trump. Personally, oh, goodness. An immigrant almost kidnapped you? How did you know they were an immigrant, Addison? Did they wear a shirt that said I'm an immigrant? It said I'm an undocumented immigrant specifically. That's what your shirt said? Wild. You guys, come on. PJ. I have a feeling that that's gonna not end well if you come up, but we can talk about it. You guys are too scared to stand behind your president. It's weird that you can't stand behind him. Stand 10 toes down with facts. So, Roger, let's talk about it. I would like to break that down and talk about the details of it. That's fine. Let's talk about it. He has a criminal history, and it said that he was an undocumented migrant.
You didn't get anybody's name?
Roger, how are you today?
You sticking with that story?
No, yeah.
Roger, how are you?
You.
Okay. He said pretty. He typed the answer in the chat. Said, how are you? And he said pretty good. Oh, joy. Hi, champion. How are you today?
Hello, I'm good.
Did you vote for Trump?
I did.
Okay.
Did
Why'd you
you?
vote? No, I did not. Why'd you vote for Trump?
Because of everything that he's doing and because the 4 years of Kamala and Biden were complete destruction of the
Sure.
economy.
What is he doing that you support?
The mass deportations, the improvement of the economy,
Okay.
the
Why do
stopping of the...
immigrants? I know you did this on RJ.
You're going
so
to
you have
ask
the-
me
you
or
have
you're
the
going to let me
script.
finish?
I want to go
So,
a point at a
there's
time.
there's
I know
few
you guys.
things.
I
Let
know
me-
you did this on RJ's this morning. I know you guys have a script you want to get through, but you said mass deportations. So let's talk about mass deportations. Why do immigrants bother you? Like you did this on RJ's this morning. I want 1 point. We can talk about 1 point. When we get through that 1 point, we can move on to another point. Why do immigrants bother you? I invited you to unmute your mic. It's just a little button.
Oh, you muted me.
I did.
Nothing new. Okay, so
Sure.
I don't hate immigrants. Why would you assume that? My
I
parents are
didn't.
immigrants.
That's not what I
They're
asked you.
legal.
What did I ask you? What did
My
I ask
parents
you?
are... You said, why do you hate immigrants?
Not what I asked you.
Yeah, you did.
Nope.
That's
I
what you
said, why do it? Nope. I said, why do immigrants bother you?
Same thing. Little semantics game.
Not the same thing. That's absolutely not the same thing.
You got to insert the word illegal in there. My parents are legal immigrants. Legal
What makes
immigrants
somebody
don't bother
illegal?
me. Illegal immigrants bother me because they
What
don't
makes
follow
it
our
illegal?
laws.
What law?
What makes them illegal?
hmm
Are we in preschool? They're not citizens. Is that something hard to understand? They don't have
Not
citizenship.
all immigrants. Immigrants are not all citizens either, and yet they're here legally.
What are
So
you
what makes
talking
them
about?
illegal?
If
You realize
go
we
through
have
the
legal
you don't-
immigrants in the United
if you
States,
go
right?
through the citizenship process, you become naturalized and you're a citizen
Not all immigrants that are here legally are citizens. You know that,
because
right?
they're on visas.
Or have green cards, which
Are
is
they
permanent
are
residency.
they follow? Okay,
Agree-
right.
Right, so they're not illegal.
We're talking
okay, we're there
about
now.
people
We are right back to where we
crossing.
started.
We're talking
What
about
makes
people.
them illegal?
Oh my God! You don't want to let me talk because you know
What
I'm going to dog
makes
walk
them
you.
illegal?
You know I'm going to dog walk you.
They're not. What makes them illegal?
illegal is they're not going through our ports of entry, and the
Ooh,
ones
where's
that
that the
claim
law?
asylum,
Where's that the law?
90%. Hold on, 90% of them don't show up for their court hearings.
That's not true. Where's that stat
Yes,
from?
it is.
Where's that stat from?
Kevin McAleen from the House, from the Department of Homeland Security, testified in front of Congress that they did a pilot program where 90% of the people that were given asylum status did
How
not
do you
show up
spell
for
his
their
last
court
name?
hearings, and that was 7,000 families. 90% of them didn't show up.
How do you
So they
how do you
don't
spell
show
his
up,
last name so I can
and
find
that brings
that
me to my
testimony?
other point, which is why.
Testimony is not fact because we
Keep
have
muting my
actual
mic.
fact. I
So
would like
that's
his
another
last
thing,
name so
is
I can
I
find
like-
his testimony so I can find what numbers he is citing. I would like
Okay.
to see where he is citing these numbers from. So give me his last name.
Kevin McAleen.
How do you spell his last name?
2019, he testified in front of the
How do you
Senate that they
2019?
2019.
Whose presidency
2019?
was that? Whose
Holy
presidency
crap! You
was
don't
that?
stop talking.
Whose presidency? Yeah, it's my fucking life. Whose presidency was that? What? Like, how do you spell his last name?
Brings me to my other point. What I like about Trump is remain in
Fuck
Mexico.
off, bro. You don't have any information. I can't. Like, what are you talking about? I can't find anything. Kevin McAlpine? McAlpine? From DHS. I can't, like, I'm not finding anything. So you guys just make shit up. I have no problem looking it up and going over it with you. I would like to see where this Kevin McElhinney, whatever his fucking name is, I would like to see where he's citing those numbers. I would absolutely love to see that. But you would have to show me that. And you just want to keep talking, and we're not going to do that. You're going to prove your points. Hi, guest. How are you today? Okay. Yes, Rusty, I'm always angry. I'm like the Hulk. You want to know the secret? I'm always angry. I didn't lose shit until you guys. Do you guys know who Kevin McElhinney is? McApeen? I can't find anybody. Look, maybe Crow found it. Oh, look, full committee hearing. Thank you. McAleenan. Who the fuck is Kevin acting secretary? Again, this was in 2019. So this would be under Trump's presidency. Need to find, let's go download testimony. Command F asylum. The asylum gap. Approximately 80% of individuals pass the initial credible fear screening in the asylum process, yet only 10 to 15% are found to have valid asylum claims by an immigration judge. What happens when their asylum claims are invalidated? They get deported. Okay, that's one. And the abuse of the asylum system. Well, that's just an opinion based off of our asylum laws, but they're laws, so that's that. You want to come up and talk about that? Oh, there's nothing about 90% not going to court hearings in this testimony filing, by the way. Asylum is listed 7 times, and it talks about the 80% of individuals that pass their initial screening. It doesn't say anything about them not going to their court hearings. So. Yeah, I thought he was going to come back, but I guess not. Thank you, Crow, by the way. I appreciate you very much for that. I'm going to save that one in case it comes up again, because we're all collectively ignored. Actually, what we're going to do is that Ty can go away for the day and start his stuff up again tomorrow, probably. You keep coming up, but then you won't come up.
I'm right here. I'm not afraid of you. You don't know what you're talking about.
You just didn't load in. You just didn't load in the last time.
Because I was off. I was just eating lunch.
That's
So
fine.
Kevin McAleenan is his name. Look up on YouTube. You can see the testimony.
I
They had
found it.
7,000 families that claimed asylum.
I found
90%
his
of them didn't.
testimony.
That's from the horse's mouth. Okay, where are you
I
reading?
found his testimony. Were you not listening when I said this? I found his testimony. Asylum is listed in this testimony only 7 times. Of the 7 times, the only times it talks about percentages is talking about approximately 80% of individuals pass the initial federal fear screening, the credible fear screening.
DHS released the information. 7,000 families. 90% of them didn't show up for their court hearings, which is why I like Trump, because he has
I
remained in
still have
Mexico.
not found that anywhere in the documentation of his testimony.
And
in 2019.
Furthermore, here's the other
No,
thing.
we're not going
Here's
to
the
go
other
off
thing.
of information you have yet to prove. Like, we're not going to do that.
Teacup, and I'll be right back and get you your information.
Sure.
Will that make you happy? Because this is when you guys get dog walked. This is what you do. Cite your sources. Cite your sources.
Yeah, cite your sources.
Why don't we talk about the things we like here about Trump? Remain in Mexico.
Sources.
Why don't we want to do remain in Mexico? If people don't
Sources. Go find that.
ask you a question, if people don't show up for court, should they re-implement remain in Mexico? Should they be wandering around the country?
He already did re-implement Remain in Mexico, but it's not being
Okay,
implemented.
do you support that?
It's not. No.
Okay, let me ask you this: if a
Supreme
massive
Court didn't
percentage of
either.
them don't
The
show up,
Supreme Court
hold on,
didn't
let's
either.
establish
You
a
have
base-
to prove that. This is
let's
why
es-
I don't have.
let's
This is
establish
why
a-
I don't have further conversations, because you're going to go off of a basis of
because
something you have
talk,
yet to fucking prove. So
you
we're not
don't
going to
wanna
have
get-
conversations off of something that's a
no,
lie.
the facts
So when
are
you
not on your
find that,
side, so you
no.
don't want to get dog
when
walked.
you find that,
This is what
find
you guys
the
do.
information.
You
Go
know what?
teacup and
You
find the
control the
information.
mic.
Go
You're
teacup and find the
fucking low
information. When
IQ.
you find the information, come back. Gosh, you guys are not smart. Oh, weird. There's an entire article. Trump's Homeland Security chief is giving bad immigration data to Congress. June 12th, 2019. He framed the immigration crisis as a flood of fake families coming across the border with the help of drug cartels and human trafficking rings. But he did not cite actual data for that. Weird. Let's see. Command F 7000. That's not even in here. Command 90. Oh, so him and Republican Senator Lindsey Graham suggested that 90% of asylum seekers released from ICE custody don't show up for their court hearings. But Michelinen changed his tune. After Democratic Senator Dick Durbin cited data showing that 92% of asylum seekers who filed claims between fiscal years 2013 and 2017 did show up to court. Even the guy you're citing changed his tune. Shocker. Holy fuck, you guys are bad at research. Holy shit. Ty? No. You tried it though. It's fake news. Sure. Mike, how are you today?
I'm a fucking negative, man. You hear that?
No, but that's okay. I didn't hear you, but... He later conceded that the 90% figure referred to something else altogether. And he did not provide details about where his fucking information came from. He said nearly 90% of the approximately 7,000 families whose asylum cases have been handled in recent months skipped their hearings, Michelinen said, although he did not provide details on where that figure came from. So he made it up. Cool. Because DHS doesn't say that. Awesome. No, he wasn't right. He was right that Michelinen said a thing, not that he can back it up, which is why I wanted to find the testimony, because they would have to cite on DHS or CBP where that came from. And he couldn't do that. Hi, Blue.
Hello.
I wish
Yes,
they
ma'am.
would just read.
Yeah, I was coming up initially to talk about that 92%
Yeah.
from the DLJ statistics.
So, again, it's something you can't prove. And he's in the box again, and yet he won't prove it. He just wants to keep talking.
Yeah, he just wants to steamroll.
Mm-hmm.
I got a question for you, young lady.
Hi, how are you today?
Good. You support
How
Trump,
old are
right?
you? How old are you?
I'm 56.
Okay, you don't need to call me young lady. I'm a grown woman. Thank you.
I'm tired. I'm just a habit of me doing that. Sorry.
Okay.
You support Trump, right?
No.
I didn't think you did. I was trying to congratulate you on that. That's why I was asking.
Oh, okay. I appreciate you so much. I'm guessing you didn't vote for him either then?
I didn't vote at all.
Okay. And you were in Kentucky?
Yep.
It would have been a difficult state for you regardless of you voting, I guess. So there's
Yeah,
that.
true.
I appreciate you, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Sorry for snapping at you. I just don't, it doesn't matter what side. I don't do I know it's something you guys are taught. I get it. But I'm 34. Definitely not a young lady. I've had kids. I've bought houses. I've done all the big things. What else did Crow send me? Oh, it was where Dick Durbin corrects him. Oh, thank you. You are proficient in finding shiny objects. I appreciate that so much about you, Crow. Bob, how are you today?
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing well. Did you vote for Trump?
3 times.
Okay, and why are you still supporting him?
Because he's doing everything he promised he would.
Like what?
The closing the border.
Why do immigrants bother you?
Illegal bothers me.
What makes them illegal?
They don't come into this country by the legal process.
What's that? What's that legal process?
That you apply for citizenship and
No.
go through the process. Yes, it is.
What's asylum?
Are you? Let me ask you. Are you an illegal?
No, I was
Are
born in
you-
Washington State. What?
You
What?
look Hispanic.
Yep, I am Hispanic.
Were
You're
your
right.
parents? Were your parents legal?
Yep.
Okay.
My dad was actually born on an Air Force base in Germany. My mother was born in Michigan.
Okay. Good.
Yep.
Good.
Oh, good. Yeah. What is asylum?
Asylum is when you seek to circumvent the legal process by using asylum as your reason to jump the line.
Is it legal? Circumvent would mean you're doing it illegally, so you couldn't circumvent it because it's legal.
No, if you're granted asylum, it would be legal.
No, you can apply for asylum legally.
Yeah,
How
but
do you do that?
so after you apply, what happens to you physically?
You get a ankle monitor, and you are told when your next court date is.
Why can't you just go back to your country and wait?
Why?
You're fleeing from
They're
it.
going
That'd
to
be like
travel,
saying,
yeah, from the
I don't
country
have
they're
the money.
fleeing from.
I don't have the money to go into this theater, but so I'm going to apply for a hardship case. But in the meantime, I'm just going to
Like
sit in the
theater.
theater and watch the movie.
Well, there are squatters' rights. I don't know if you've ever looked at those.
We got to
It
get rid
wouldn't
of
be
them.
for a
Services
theater.
in a
It would be for a
theater.
theater.
We get rid of squatters. That's our next step.
So you think the United
Depends on
States
the
is just an entertainment service?
Right.
It
Like
depends
who?
on who you are. If you're a Democrat, it is. 'Cause they
How
don't
how
do
would you
any-
travel
They
from
don't
a
do
country?
anything to contribute to the country.
How would you travel from a country that you're fleeing that is thousands of miles
You
away?
can't. Well, now you go to another country.
Nope, that's not how that works.
Yes.
I
If
know, but
you
our
say-
laws don't
say
say
you
that they
were in
have.
Honduras,
Bob,
I believe.
our laws don't say they have to do that.
No, we're changing those laws.
How do you change that law?
We get a new administration.
Have they put forth anything to change the asylum law?
Oh, they're going to.
They haven't.
I don't know if they have or haven't. But
They have not.
That's,
You can-
he's
you
only
can
been in
see what
office
they put
for.
into.
He's only been in office 8 months. Give him 4 years.
It does not require him because he doesn't make laws. It would be Congress, and
Oh,
Congress
he
has not.
controls Congress.
Ooh, that's yeah, and that's that. Okay, what are the three branches of government?
And currently, it's executive, executive, executive.
So you are fine with a monarchy and an
No problem
authoritarian?
at all. That's how our country was founded.
It was not. We
It
were
was.
founded on three co-equal branches of government.
But the people that wrote the Constitution and then came to this country originally. They were
Illegally.
illegally by whose standard? Yours? Not the
By the
Hispanics.
standard that this was not their
No,
country.
there was no Hispanics that came from England.
What?
I'm
Are you
Hispanics.
okay?
Hispanics did come from Europe.
They
I
came
am both
from England.
Mexican and Spanish. So I
Well,
colonized
you
my
come
own
from
fucking people.
Mexico that we already bought you out.
The Spanish conquistadors came and colonized my people in Mexico.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's where they should stay.
And where do you live?
Nevada.
Okay, part of Nevada, part of Texas. That was all.
But it's
Mexican.
not. That's history. That was before you were born.
Sure, but it was
You weren't
theirs.
even- right.
It belonged
What?
to them. Who
But
came
I'm
and took
saying
it?
we change our laws.
You even said it, Nevada. Why is it called Nevada? 'Cause it's
I don't
fucking
know.
Spanish.
So what? I don't have a problem with that. I like
My
Mexican
issue
food.
is that you don't understand history and you don't understand that they put in three co-equal branches of government to check and balance
They're
one
not
another. Because
co-equal.
what did we gain independence from?
They're not co-equal because
What kind of
we have an
system? What
executive.
kind of system did we gain independence from?
Who is we? You is Spanish?
The United States.
You were led by who?
Who did the United States
They
get
weren't the United
independence
States
from?
when they were founded. They were
Oh my
colonized.
God. Who did we get independence from?
Depend on where you came from.
I'm a
England.
U.S. citizen.
We
I'm
had to
talking about the
fight England.
history. I'm
We
talking about
fought
the
England
history.
because they wanted to
The
tax us.
history of the United States.
We
Bob, I'm going to help you, honey. We gained independence from a monarchy, and we didn't want a king. So, because we didn't want a king, We structured our government. We structured our government and our constitution. Oh, Chicky is
Let
cashing
me
in.
ask you this.
All right,
since you're-
Chicky, I love you so much, Chicky. Cash in.
Lord have mercy.
Speaking of, I'm gonna bring my Chicky friend up. Chicky, did you know that I look like an illegal immigrant?
I sent the message afterwards like, should I speak in Spanish? Oh my god, what a
He would
fucking
have been
pig!
so upset.
I mean, I'm glad I look Hispanic because, like, my mom's white as fuck. So I'm glad that I got, you know, some of my dad's ness. And I don't have that. I don't claim it because I don't have the culture. I wasn't brought up in that culture. I'm an Air Force brat. So we lived the Air Force life, super US, super American. I don't get to have the, like, beautiful culture that I come from.
Like when he said, oh yeah, no Spanish came from that side. I was like, what the fuck is Spain?
You literally use the term Hispanic, Hispaniola. Where's that from?
Spaniards. Like,
Which actually, my last name is very specific because that last name is used in Spain and in Mexico, but there's a difference. One letter makes the difference of whether you know it's Spanish or whether you know it is Mexican, and that is because it's an S or a Z.
Ah, okay, yes, there are a couple that are like that. Yes,
Yep.
and yeah. After I said that, I was like, oh, should I come and piss him off if I speak Spanish?
Yeah, Z thing is a bunch of names.
What the fuck say? I was sorry.
Crow knows my name.
The
Crow-
S versus
Crow could
I
tell.
said the S versus Z thing covers for a bunch of things. Like I see it all the time at work. Again,
Mhm.
you know, I've talked about my city. I have a lot of people that speak Spanish here, so like I see the S name as Z thing all the time.
Yeah, tons of different last names are like that.
You know, my people have only been recognized as citizens for 101 years.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm hot as hell.
Yeah, those temperatures have been terrible. Did you vote for Trump?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Why are you still supporting him?
Because, like the other guy said, close the borders. And I agree with what you're saying with the illegal aliens. But also, who owned this country before everybody?
The indigenous.
No.
Yep.
Nope. Sorry.
Turtle
the
Island.
Indians.
Turtle
the
Island.
Indians the Indians own
What
this
do you
country.
what do you
before
what do you
everybody.
think indigenous? Hold on, Randy. What do you think
No,
indigenous means?
homeboy. Be quiet. Be quiet.
No,
you're
I'm
gonna
literally
listen.
Not gonna do
indigenous.
that.
Guess
I'm
what?
literally indigenous.
Crow is indigenous.
I am a member of the Siksika band of the Blackfoot Confederacy. That's what indigenous means. Indigenous, by definition, means native to the land of, since time immemorial. So what you're saying, Indian, it's indigenous. We are the indigenous peoples. Sometimes in Canada, we're called the First Nations. This is what I was talking about. We only gained citizenship in the United States 101 years ago when the Indian Citizenship Act was passed.
Oh, bye.
And I would run too before you spoke about my people to me.
He thought he got me when I'm just using the correct terminology.
Jesus.
Like, bro.
The fact that they call them, they're saying Indians. Like, what do you think the word Indian?
Why
Only
were they
reason
called
we're
that?
look. Because some fucking Spanish dude got lost, landed in the West Indies, thought he was in India, and that's what we got called. That's why. Because some fucking Spanish guy got lost.
Yep.
Crazy.
Champion, you keep saying I'm scared to bring you up. I'm not scared to bring you up. You cannot prove to me where this man has actual proof besides him saying it. Dick Durbin corrected him. Like,
Yeah.
he does.
Champion just wants to come up here and steamroll through a
Somebody in
conversation.
chat mentioned this. Native American, correct. Indigenous, correct. First Nations, correct. Indian, I'm not from India. We're not from India.
Right.
Right.
That's why I said Turtle Island, and he's like, wrong. Like, what was she talking about?
Said, no, my favorite. You're like, yeah, the indigenous people. No, the Indians. What? What?
Lizard.
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 I thought he was going to say, like, the mole people or some shit.
Oh my god.
So do
You
you
wanna
have
get
DHS
dog
data
walk
or
again?
CBP data to back up your claim?
Yes, I do.
Okay, what's the data?
The data is 7,000 families were claiming
Oh, honey,
asylum
doodle
status.
pie.
Did not.
Bruh.
Babe.
I actually sent you
Data
the video
is
just in case it came back.
I can't.
Trust me, bro.
The data is. I did let him speak. I let him speak. Crow went and found all the information. I read through the information. I found a Vice article where that was the wrong information, and then Crow found the
I
actual
pulled
testimony.
the C-SPAN video because, hey, everybody, I get my information on Congress from the two most boring sources anybody can get them from, which is either reading things on congress.gov or C-SPAN. Neither of these things have bias. One is the documentation prepared by the people that wrote it. The other is C-SPAN walks into a congressional hearing, puts down a camera, and walks away.
Yep. There's no bias in C-SPAN. It's just recording the actual session that's happening. You mean an informed American citizen? What are you talking about, Raby? He literally didn't bring any facts besides what some senator said in a hearing. Don't know if you know this, they can lie, which is why I wanted to find the hearing, which Crow found, so that you can find if it's tracked to DHS numbers or CBP numbers. It was not. He was even corrected in his own hearing that his numbers were wrong, and he conceded to the fact that those numbers were wrong.
I even give you the timestamps for those of you that want it. At 34 minutes, he makes the statement that the guest was talking about. At 1 hour and 30 minutes into the hearing, Dick Durbin finally gets a turn to speak where he corrects the misinformation, and dude fucking backpedals hard.
Dream, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Did you vote for Trump?
I did.
Okay, why are you still supporting him?
Your live comes across my TikTok a lot, and I just want to say I appreciate you having these conversations. Mostly for me, it was about his stance on transgender when it came to schools and sports. And I think you've mentioned you're a mom, so I was curious, like your take on it when it comes to your own kids and the exposure they might be experiencing in school or whatever.
Well, my children are actually very aware of trans people. I've had them, I've shown them pictures of my good friend on here, Lainey. This is also another good friend of mine, Megan, who is non-binary. But I have shown them pictures of Lainey, who is a wonderful person. If you ever want to learn, she does not do debates. She does educational conversations. So she will not yell at you. She will not fight at you. She will just answer questions. And I have told them, all that I've told them is the same I tell them when it comes to LGBTQ in way of marriage, is that some people are just different. I say, well, there's some people who can be born with what part you have down there, your penis, because we use proper terms in order to make sure that children can be safe from harm. Say that they were born with a penis, but they are a girl or a woman. That is who they are. You know what my kids did? They said, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and an argument or a thought I've had is, like, I feel like the Liberal Party left me. I was always very liberal. I supported gay rights, and I loved when people would come out as trans. I had no problem with it. It was really mostly, for me, the shift was when it started to be like the trans sports, like biological men in women's sports.
Well, biological man is not a term.
I'd love to have this conversation with you, and I wonder what some of the concerns you have around sports and trans folks.
Like for me, I would feel like why not have a third category?
Because there's all of 10 trans athletes in, I believe it's the NCAA, in all sports, not one sport. So you can't make a team, you can't have competition. We also know that HRT, roughly 2 years of it, negates all those biological factors that would give males an advantage over females, apparently.
But isn't there I'm posing it as a question, but I know it's a fact that there is science to prove that men have their muscle mass, and women too, obviously, males. Like muscle mass.
HRT negates that. HRT negates that. So do you know what HRT is?
No.
Like what that stands for? Hormone replacement therapy. So your hormones, the testosterone, the estrogen, all the other hormones, they are the ones that are giving males and females their different they shape the muscle structure, they shape the bone structure, bone density and stuff. So after about 2 years on HRT, a trans woman is going to have the same or equivalent and acceptable hormone levels for the Olympics, for the NCAA. Like they do look at these things. They will test trans athletes. And this is also like, this is part of the problem though, because humans are different and biology isn't black and white. So this is where we start to see some racism come into play, because there are women who have higher testosterone levels. There are females who have higher testosterone levels. I have polycystic ovarian syndrome. I have higher testosterone levels. Even though I'm not a trans woman, I'm trans non-binary, I would still compete in a women's sports category if I was in any way athletic. Don't know if you can tell about me. I don't do the sports. But I will fiercely defend people's right to play sports. And the fact of the matter is human bodies are all different. Sports are about testing the human body. The HRT negates any of those benefits, and cis women are being harmed because their natural hormone levels are apparently not womanly enough.
I see.
And
Okay,
I will add, those women tend to be black, so it's racism.
Okay, so let's, because you made some valid points there in regards to what the medicine does to you biologically. What about the stance on the gender affirming care for minors? You know, we wouldn't let a minor get a tattoo. We don't let minors drink.
I was a minor when I got a tattoo, to be fair.
Monica, do
Okay, fine, but for the
Hold
vast
on,
majority.
Stop. Okay, Crow,
Crow,
ask
what?
your question. Wait, Crow, ask your question first.
Monica, can you swap me with Unscripted? Bring Nikita, because Nikita's actually covered this in their research and work.
Okay, absolutely.
So,
we wouldn't let a minor.
When it comes to gender affirming care, there is a set standard and a set path. Minors are not receiving surgery.
Okay, I mean, I didn't that Jazz Jennings girl get surgery when she was like 17?
I'm not familiar with that specifically. If it was,
I think she was 16 or 17. She's a very rare case. Her dysphoria was very severe. Like she was, and her unaliving ideation was severe.
And that is correct. You did catch me there. Top surgery can happen around 16, 17. But more cis, for males, more cis people get top surgery than trans folks. So cis girls do get, with parents' permission, breast surgery. Cis boys with gynecomastia get their breasts removed. It's far more common in cis kids, but nobody complains about that.
But why support it at all when we wouldn't let somebody under the age of 21 drink? Or
because it's your identity.
Than, Monica said she got one when she was a minor, but for the most part, we don't get tattoos when you're a minor. You can't take steroids when you're a minor.
You can with parents' permission. And it's a healthcare treatment. So because trans children are experiencing such extreme levels of body dysphoria that they have self-unaliving tendencies from it, we give them the medical care to negate that and to ease that, because they are who they say they are. They know who they are. Like, if you've ever met a trans kid, I have never seen somebody so confident in who their identity is before. I swear, they know themselves so well. So it follows the standard. It's called the WPATH standard. And there are very specific criteria youth have to meet to receive things even like HRT. So when you are a youth, I'll go through a general process for you to understand. There's something called the Tanner stages of puberty. And that is how we measure puberty change and development. Because again, this doesn't happen on a set path for every kid. Some people will enter precocious puberty, which is when they start puberty at age 6. And we don't want that for any child. So when you hit Tanner stage 2 of puberty is when you would start looking at something like puberty blockers. Puberty blockers are a medicine that just puts a pause on puberty for about 2 to 3 years, so that trans kids can get the medical care that they need to ensure that they are making the right decision, right? So this is to give them and their parents more time to know for sure and to explore their identity and to get a little bit more confident. So after after 2 to 3 years of puberty blockers is when the medical team, and that's going to include counselors, it's going to include endocrinologists, it's going to include your like GP. They go to specific clinics for this. In my province, because I'm Canadian, there's only one clinic in Vancouver. I'm in BC. So kids from all over the province, all the way up north, still have to go to Vancouver to see their medical team to even have the possibility of getting on HRT. Again, top surgery is in extreme cases where the self-unaliving ideation is incredibly debilitating. And if you've ever experienced self-unaliving thoughts, you know how debilitating those could be. We would do anything to stop those thoughts. I would do anything to stop those thoughts. If I could get top surgery to stop those thoughts, I'd love it. My self-unaliving thoughts are different. So that's why we start looking at surgery. It is for the safety of the child, but it's done with the medical team. It is done with parents' consent, unless the child takes the parents to court in BC. That is something that has happened. And it is monitored. It is healthy. They watch their hormone levels like a hawk when they are on HRT. And the puberty is monitored in progress by everybody.
Yeah, I
It's
mean, you're
healthcare.
very well spoken. Lots of good information. You got me thinking about some things I need to do a little more research on. So that sort of where I came from when it came to it. As far as the every time this live comes up, you guys are talking a lot about immigration. It seems like the hottest.
When I ask them why they support, that's the one they give me.
Yeah,
So
that seems to
we
be
get
the
stuck
biggest.
there a lot.
Yeah, that seems to be the biggest one. So I mean, I'm from Southern California, so my whole culture growing up has always been very blended. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't love what's going on as far as immigration goes. So
And I appreciate you asking questions and listening. I did want to have unscripted. I don't think I've ever had you on here, but I've seen you around. If you had anything you want to add, I would love to have you do that before anybody drops or anything happens in that way.
Yes, absolutely. Hi, my name is Nikita. You can call me Nikita. My pronouns are they, them. And I want to follow up on something that Megan was talking about. So I was one of the reporters involved in the Caster Semenya case. And so I've been following Caster Semenya, who is a cis woman athlete in South Africa. She was at her peak a couple of years ago, and that's when they started questioning her hormone levels. And Caster Semenya is a wonderful human being, and her talent is undeniable. Like, she was winning leagues ahead of everyone. It was only when white women complained that they were losing to her that they started to test her testosterone levels. And the accusations of her being trans, the accusations of her being a man, are not new to Black women. Because Black and brown women, the world over, have been masculinized in the face of white male patriarchy. And this kind of law, the kind of testing testosterone, affirming people's gender through sexual attributes, all of those kinds of things, it is rooted in racism. It is rooted in slavery era laws. It is rooted in Jim Crow era laws, apartheid era, South Africa, etc. And if we go down that road, we are going down a eugenics road.
Yes.
Because you see all of this literature appear in, some of this literature still exists today in a place called the Swedish Institute of Racial Biology, and it's at the University of Uppsala. And if you don't know the name Carl Linnaeus, Professor Carl Linnaeus was a taxonomist who basically said that you can divide races biologically into these different attributes. It was a pseudoscience. He was literally a botanist who decided that this was going to be a thing. And he followed up on research by, well, quote unquote research by people like Thomas de Ferrara, who essentially was the person who invented the concept of race. And it was used to instill fear into people, but also used to justify the slave trade and colonization. So we're going down those routes.
Right, because
I think-
the concern becomes that a man or woman or a boy or girl only looks like one thing or the other. And as I have children who, I have a boy and I have a girl, because that is what they have told me that they are. But my son loves having his nails painted. Unfortunately, a lot of the people on the right think that that means something else, or that I'm indoctrinating him by allowing him to do that, when he just likes the color because he sees mommy do it and he sees sissy do it and he just likes it.
And I am with you fully on that. I mean, my son was dressed up as a dragon 20 minutes ago. So like I have two little. Good job. I have two little kids. Like
I can hear them. They're rambunctious.
Yes.
I'm loving it.
Yeah. But I think for me, it's like I'm trying to think how to put this like eloquently. Like if I send my kid to school and this is not because I have an anti feeling toward any of it, but if I send my kids to school and they come back and told me that they were studying the Quran, I would feel a little bit upset by that, because that's not what I sent them to school for. I want them to learn other things. So when you find these stories of kids there's these books in the schools, or they're being taught these things. Like, I just don't understand why we can't leave it at the home level.
Stop being in a library.
No, but there's books like the ABCs.
The books is a really important topic to me, because this is so just a little bit of context for me. Like I said, I'm Canadian, but I'm in a hotbed for this stuff. Like, my city is infamous across the country for the fight against what in our country is called SOGI 123. And people actually wrote into the police and said, there's corn in our schools, you need to investigate this. So they placated them, and they did, and they found no corn. This is a dog whistle. The books that people are talking about are not in the elementary schools. The books that people tend to talk about, like genderqueer, are for teenagers and are in high schools. The books are like, we have librarians who look at these things and they rate them for ages. Like, it is, and they're just in libraries. Like, they're not necessarily being read in the classrooms per se. It is still up to parents to monitor what books their children get out of the library as well. Like, it is not a thing.
For sure. At Barnes and Noble library, for sure.
No, like, even your school library, like your student's library.
But when you are sending, I guess what I'm trying to get at is, I'm not anti it. I just don't, why can't we leave it at the home? Like,
because trans people are in the world.
Right.
But why we don't teach?
Because would you have the ability to teach your kid what a trans person is? I taught you a lot today that you didn't know.
But
that doesn't mean I didn't know. I didn't have a baseline that I could.
But you didn't have the ability to teach.
And maybe you're teaching your kids the way I'm teaching my kids, right? That they exist, and your kids go okay and move on with their life, and you don't make it seem like a good or a bad. But there's a lot of people who either don't teach it at all, or they teach it that it's bad. And what that does is it causes harm to that community of people who exist. My children are going to come in contact with somebody from the LGBTQ other than their mother at some point in their life. They absolutely are going to do that. When they're making a family tree in school, they should be able to say and put a picture of, this is my mom. And maybe that mom doesn't look like everybody else's mom.
Right.
But that's okay. That's not teaching them. It's just allowing them to say it.
Another reason, and then I'll let you go, sorry. It's really important to me that we have books, because I've already spoken about my trans nephew. Well, I don't know if I mentioned he was my nephew, but I have a trans nephew who came out and started his transition at 6 years of age, and teachers made him educate the peers that were bullying him, because they didn't have any information. Like, at the time, like, they had nothing. They didn't know what they were doing, and it was awful. Teachers should never do that. Teachers should never put a 6-year-old in front of the class and be like, tell us what trans is. The 6-year-old barely knows. He just wants to know. So the books are really important to help teachers who also don't necessarily know communicate this to the kids, so the kids stop bullying my nephew.
Unscripted, please go ahead. Nikita, I apologize. Nikita.
Thank you, Nikita. Sorry.
So a lot of the time, so why it's important to teach this at school is because a lot of the time, and it goes the same way for bodily autonomy and things like that, is because a lot of the time the people who are abusing the kids are in the home. And getting that education outside of the home is so imperative to empower those children, because you're not raising children, you're raising humans. They're not going to be children forever. You want to empower them as much as you possibly can for them to see the world for themselves, not just through the lens of the parents. And a lot of the time, when these kids realize that their parents are actually abusive, that is when justice can be attained. That is when the kids can make decisions for themselves as to what they want done with their own lives. Just because kids are kids and they're under a legal age, legality is never a measure of morality, just by the way.
True.
You have a case where kids can make decisions for themselves and they are empowered. They have the language to empower themselves in public spaces. They have the language to empower themselves in private spaces, with the legal system, with the authority, etc., etc. If kids were given that language, if kids were given that knowledge outside of the home, they are able to seek justice, seek treatment, seek the appropriate measures that can be taken for their own lives. And we want to empower kids. We want our kids to grow in ways that we never had the opportunity. We want better for every next generation. And that's why we do this, so that we will grow. I wasn't having these conversations at 19, and there are people on this app having the conversations that I wish I was having back then.
Yeah.
No, what was I doing at 19? I was getting hammered and at varsity parties. Even though I have been an activist pretty much my whole life, I wasn't having these conversations. I didn't have the language to. We didn't have the phrase white privilege to describe what we were feeling when we saw our white friends saying that they were broke. And no, it's not that they were broke. It was that they didn't have money for a holiday, you know? And I grew up in apartheid South Africa. So I've seen how the legal system changed from apartheid to now, where we are empowered now, where trans individuals have protection, where there's so many protections in place. There's a sexual offences court. There's a separate sexual offences court in South Africa now, as opposed to during apartheid, where Black and brown women were not allowed to report rape. So you see how we're trying to empower people. We're trying to make
this is
the next generation
it's a really
stronger.
good it's a really good perspective, and I appreciate it. I have to go because I'm gonna take care of my kids, but I just want to ask one last question because I'm going to keep listening. What are your, because you guys seem very well spoken, what are your thoughts on why there's been such a boom? If this has always existed, always been,
because gay
just
people
were
got the
afraid
right
to
to
come
marry.
out.
Yeah.
And media.
So but the trans
people,
children,
trans people and
becoming,
trans children, yeah.
Yeah, like and I guess I mean about children because I Caitlyn Jenner came out a long time ago, but I just mean like children experiencing this. Why the boom? And I'm gonna leave just because I have to take care of my kids, but I'm listening because I want to hear your thoughts. So thank you guys so much.
Absolutely, I appreciate you listening. Well, what I would say is what Megan said too is that trans people have always been around, like you said, and when it comes to the idea of trans children, is in 2015, okay, LGBTQ people got the right to marry.
In your country, in your country.
In my country, correct. In the US, we got the right to marry. What happened after that is they needed a new boogeyman. And what's an even better boogeyman is one that you can try and separate even people within the LGB from, is trans people. Even though we wouldn't have rights without trans people. But it's very easy to take and vilify the same way they are doing. You heard that you come in a lot and you hear immigrant, immigrant, immigrant. It is very easy to take an even more marginalized community and do it. For me, when I hear this rhetoric around trans people, it's the same rhetoric was used for indigenous people in this country, the same rhetoric used for Black men in this country, for Muslim people in this country after 9/11. We're doing it with immigrants. We are doing it with trans people and trans women specifically. It's the same rhetoric, same thing we're doing.
Nikita, did you want
As
to?
the world gets
go.
Please go, Chicky.
As the world continues to develop in the digital platform, obviously you see it. You're exposed to it more. It's not that there's more and more of them because they've always been there. It's just we have a brand new window that connects the entire world. So yeah, you're just digitally more exposed to it, but they've always been there.
There's two factors I want to add on to what Chicky, one that I want to add on to what Chicky said is, we are also finding the language to talk about ourselves now, and we are becoming more aware of the language. I've always been gender fluid, but I didn't get that language until I was 30. And then I had to grow up. So I grew up in the same town that is infamous in my country for being anti-2S LGBTQI plus in schools. And I had to grow up in that before we had any supports, before I had my language. And It's awful, trust me. And then the second thing I wanted to add is a lot of people don't actually know the history and context as to how we got here either. We had shit tons of research, for lack of a better term, happening in Germany in around the 1930s, 1920s. There was a ton of research going on, and then they burned it all. The book burnings were about burning trans research. You hear about the book burnings all the time, but you don't actually hear what was burnt in those. And it was predominantly trans research, trans and gender research and sexuality research. Like, they destroyed that in the 30s. We are so far behind because of what we lost.
So much knowledge.
So you can also see the a rise in any disease, any illness, anything once there is awareness of it. So like how when you buy a car and suddenly you see all of them on the road?
They're everywhere.
Yeah. Suddenly, like, it's the same thing.
Yeah, and we've talked about that with the left-handedness study. If you see where left-handedness was once seen as wicked and evil and foolish, you were kind of dumb if you were writing with your left hand or used your left hand, so people would hide it. Then all of a sudden it became acceptable, and you see, if you look on a chart, it just shot up. All of a sudden there was all these left-handed people. Did they just all of a sudden sprout that they were left-handed? No, they always existed. They were just hiding it, or we couldn't diagnose it, or we couldn't understand it. Myriad of reasons.
My brother be in the Brazil.
Yeah, like autism.
Yep.
And we're finding
there was a spike in autism cases when there was awareness of autism, because people didn't know what it was. People thought it was demons. People
And we're
thought that
finding-
bipolar disorder was demons until we actually realized, hey, it's bipolar disorder. And then there was a spike in people having bipolar disorder because it had a name. And so now what we're seeing is, because it has become more acceptable in society to be out in the open as trans, that is why you are seeing more trans people, because trans people have always been there. Everybody's just been closeted. And I can tell you, being in the closet is not fun. I still don't have a good fashion sense, regardless of how long I was in the closet.
It's
Didn't
just
learn it in there.
that queer gene skipped me.
Yeah, it didn't work.
I also want to add that we're finding each other, right? Like, trans people are now able to find each other and group together, and there's safety in that group. So we're a little bit more louder. We're a little bit more bolder. You know, before, when we weren't able to necessarily find each other, we existed in silence because we were the one in a group of people. But now we are a group of people that have each other and have safety in that. So we're a lot louder.
Well, I appreciate you, Megan. You know, I love you. Nikita, it was lovely to actually speak with you and have you up here. I appreciate the conversation and the information. I really, honestly appreciate having you up. I am going to get ready to end.
I do have to go.
Okay. I will absolutely drop you down. You are welcome anytime if you would like to say something before you go. Absolutely.
I do want to say something to the people in the in the comments. The fact that you guys worry about what's in somebody else's pants is really disturbing.
Red flag.
Y'all are here arguing against trans people. Y'all are the ones worrying about what is in somebody else's pants. If you want to know what's in my pants, it's terror.
Speaking of, Monty, were you in Alina's live yesterday when somebody asked me to show
Nikita, I
them?
appreciate that. Was I in what?
Alina's live yesterday when I told them what was in my pants, not that they owed it to them, and somebody said, "Show me."
Ooh.
No, I missed that.
Weird.
I was watching The Valley. I wasn't paying attention to TikTok yesterday.
Like,
Wow.
Jesus, people.
Like, it says more about you. I hope you guys know that.
And
That it
also,
says
I mean,
more
I
about
don't
you.
blame you for wanting to see it. I got a
I
good
mean, I
one.
want to see it, but I still wouldn't.
But you wouldn't
when I
ask
looked
that
at
on a
it.
freaking live. Anyway.
I wouldn't ask you anyway, and you're my friend. That's weird. Weirdos.
It's weird behavior, so.
You know, but I'll take it. We ended on good conversation, and I hope she stays and listens. And if she comes in another day and has more questions, we can absolutely do that, because I don't like having conversations about transgender people. I don't like you guys having to prove your existence. It's weird to me, but I don't mind questions. We just don't get those as often. So it's why we stick on things like immigration and policy and economy, because it's just easier.
I mean, I love talking about myself. That's the Leo in me. So
Yeah.
There was
The
something
Leo
that I
for sure.
there was
Yeah, you
something I wanted
say
to
something blue.
there was
No,
something that I
please.
wanted to bring up, but the
conversation move forward, and I didn't want to overtalk anybody. But it was something that we actually mentioned on Mo's Live earlier today. Fro and I were talking about it, and I wish that we had more education on LGBTQIA topics when I was in grade school, because that would have changed my language and my thought process, because I remember using like gay as a derogatory term when I was younger.
That was
So
very heavy with millennials.
right, so if they are teaching about that, teaching awareness and acceptance in grade school now, that's a good thing, because now we'll hopefully be growing children who aren't using that as a pejorative.
Yeah, because even anecdotally, when I was growing up, I didn't understand what bisexual meant. And so when I was a teenager, I used to make fun of it and say, like, what do you mean you can't make up your mind who you like? Like, I used to say things like that. Guess what I am now? I'm pansexual.
Wait, you can't make up your own mind?
I love all the people. I did make up my mind. I love them all. That's what I decided.
See,
But-
for me, you had to teach me what straight was. It didn't make sense that people didn't just like people.
Yeah, that makes sense too.
I didn't get it, so.
I am pansexual, but I am with a man, so help me. Still that. But, you know, that's where we are.
My condolences.
I love you guys so much. You guys want to say anything before I drop you down?
I am just going to brag that I have my first, I don't know if I shared, I've built a course to teach adults in rural communities how to support the 2S LGBTQIA plus youth in their communities. I have my first workshop booked in 2 weeks. I'm so excited. And it's really because of folks like you, Monica, and others on TikTok that have given me the confidence. Like, I had all the knowledge, I just didn't have the confidence to do it. But I've had to deal with so many assholes on this internet now that I
not to care.
I can face anything. Hit me with it, baby. What do you got? So
my social anxiety is like, I don't care anymore.
I don't know if I've ever been more proud of a PowerPoint template or PowerPoint deck I've ever put together, and I'm just so excited. This workshop is so fun. So
Let
I'm
us
just
know
humble
how it
bragging.
goes. Let us
I
know how
will.
it goes.
And thanks for having me as always.
Of course. Chicky?
Lizard.
Words to live by. Blue.
I love you, Chicky.
Megan said no.
Eat something,
Mhm.
drink some water, take
Mhm.
your necessary meds, stand up, stretch, take your eyes off of screens, pause, take a deep breath, and just be in the moment and acknowledge a small win.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. All right, Blue. I love you. I'll drop you down.
Love you.
All right, you guys, I think that's a great note to end off of. Listen to all of Blue's advice. We love that. Chris, stop trying to cancel us. Chris, watch K-pop Demon Hunters. It's consumed my life. If you have not watched K-pop Demon Hunters, please do so. I really think I'm going to try and do Rumi for Halloween. I just need to start getting all my stuff together. If you want to help with that, I appreciate those who have today. That was my Chicky with the 20 on the green app and Chris with the 8 on the green app today. Chris with that big 50 yesterday. I love you and I appreciate you. So I can start getting that stuff rolling and going so we can work on some cosplay, because that's where I started, was making mom content and doing cosplay. So I still love to do that. So you see a bunch of political videos of mine, and then all of a sudden a random dance video or cosplay video shows up, mind your business, because that's where I started and it's what I love to do. I appreciate you guys for hitting the live goals, for all the likes and the shares. I appreciate it so much. Tomorrow's Friday. Yay! So we're going to be here Friday anywhere between 9:30 and 10 a.m. Mountain Time. I'll start in between there, whatever time that is for you. And I will be here. Yes, you should watch it, Megan. If you have not watched it, you should watch it. And you'll be obsessed with it like the rest of us are. Again, appreciate you guys so much. I will see you tomorrow. I hope you guys have such a lovely rest of your day. And I guess that's it.